Hello everyone, in today's video, I'm going to be speaking about how do you handle a challenging boss. It's one of those things you really can't choose in life is your boss. You get the boss, and if you get a good boss, lucky you. If not, poor you. I cannot tell you how difficult life can be if you get a boss who is not going to be worried about your life and your career. I've had a lot of bosses in my life and not everyone has been the best, right? Of course, my personal belief is you can turn any boss into your favorite, into your best. It really depends on you, and that's what I'm going to be sharing with all of you in today's video is how did I handle a very challenging time with a particular person. It's a very common problem all of you will be facing, and I will share with you all exactly what I did from making the situation of being with a boss who I thought was very difficult. Today, this person is one of my biggest supporters and one of my biggest fans as well. So a particular time, I had a new person appointed as a boss. And one of the first meetings that I was told I will be having with this person. And I particularly asked the boss, do I have to prepare anything? And he mentioned that no, nothing. You can just come, let's have a chat. It's just a general catch up. We met and, initial pleasantries was exchanged. Everything was nice. And then he started asking me some questions, which I answered. And then he started asking me questions which I was not prepared about. He asked me a lot of detailed questions about the financial results, about customers, about markets, about economy.
अरे बाप रे, ये तो धोती खोल रहा है.
And every time I didn't know the answer, I was starting to sweat. I'm like, here's a new boss. He's talking to me for the first time. And I don't know anything that he's asking me. And I was getting a bit irritated and upset that I asked him if I need to prepare and he said no. So it is almost like he wanted to catch me and he wanted to make me feel bad. I was getting very uncomfortable and I totally lost it. I remember coming out of that meeting after an hour. I was literally in tears. I started feeling depressed. And at that point of time, one of my closest mentors was walking across the corridor and he saw me visibly upset and he asked me, Ashok, is everything fine? You look a bit upset. And I just took him inside a meeting room which was quiet. Nobody else was there. And I started weeping. I said, this is what happened. I'm feeling terrible. It's like I'm such a successful employee, but suddenly somebody new comes and makes me feel I'm not good. And I feel really small. I'm feeling really unimportant. And he just calmed me down and he asked me, how do you think you want to handle this? And I told him that, there are two ways I can handle this. First way is I go and complain to the super boss who was very close to me. I knew the super boss very well. I could easily go to him and tell him, the new person you bought is not good. This is how he made me feel. Or I can go and confront my own boss and I can have a conversation with him. So he asked me, what do you want to do? So I told him, let me have a think about it. And then I took about 24 hours and I came back to what I wanted to do. Well, the first thing I decided was easy way out is to talk to the super boss because super boss was very close to me. And that could have been very easy for me. And I knew that my boss will be in trouble if I go to the super boss. So for all good reasons, I decided to talk to my boss directly myself. So when you have a challenging boss, you can also do the same, right? You can go to HR, you can go to super boss, you can go to somebody else and complain, but that's not going to solve the problem because it will make the situations even worse. So what I did was I went to my boss. I told him about myself. I told him the kind of person I was, the kind of performance I have been giving to the organization. And I started talking about it from a perspective of how can I bring value to him. And in that meeting, I told him about all those things, how I felt, how he made me feel, how I was made to feel so unimportant. And it was a bit confronting for him. I don't think he expected, I don't think anybody else had told him something like this. What's the second thing I did? The second thing I did was placed facts and figures in front of him. I pulled out the performance I had given to the company before he came. I presented data. What are the results I've given? What achievements I have done? What accolades I had won? What awards I had secured? How many people I have developed in the company? What was the financial results that I was able to drive? What's the customer satisfaction results I got? What's the employee engagement results I got? So when you have such situations, challenging bosses, you have to show them really your results. Talking just won't help. Show them something in black and white. Then the next thing I did was sharing how he can get the best out of me. I told him that, and I told him what kind of person I am and how can he motivate me, what drives me to success. So similarly, share with your boss how they can get the best out of you and also ask them what is their expectation, what kind of approach they want from you, and that would help. And then I discussed the rules of engagement with him at the fourth point. We agreed on how we would move forward. It was important for him to understand perspectives. So it was important to set the rules of engagement and boundaries what you need to not cross, what could you do to communicate with him, how often you want him to be telling things, what kind of information he wants, what kind of information you don't have to get approval from him for. All those things we agreed. And then lastly, if nothing works, if all of this has failed, I would have gone to my super boss. So never be scared to escalate if nothing works. You should not be held to ransom. You should not feel bullied and anxious. Be bold and be strong and confident. And that's what I was prepared for. Thankfully, in my case, it never happened. By the way, this boss became one of my biggest supporters. I think he was so happy that I confronted him and I told him all these things. We had a very long 2-hour conversation. After that, he used to call me for everything. I became his closest friend. So you can convert your most challenging boss to your best ally as well. And that's what I've tried to share in today's video. Please do share with your friends who have tough bosses, and I hope you also get a lot of benefit out of this. Thank you again for watching the video. Stay fit, stay positive, keep chasing obscene success. Thank you. Do click on the subscribe button and notification button to continue watching all the videos that I'm posting.